Welcome to Sterling High School in the TV studio. It is August 25th, 2021. I'm joined by Mr. Sean Redman. Sir, thank you for joining me. How are you doing this summer?
Doing well. Everything's going well. Great summer. You know, as the saying goes, time flies when you're having fun. So we're August 25th, ready to rock and roll. New student orientation last evening went very well.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that, so we're ready.
It was awesome to see. We had 2 bleachers full of freshmen. 162 freshman students came in and got their ID pictures taken, and all of our activities were out there. It was a full house there in the old gym. Great experience for them. It was exciting, definitely.
Yes, you know, through the parents and students that I spoke with, they were really pleased with the opportunity that they had to sign up for clubs and activities, which is always huge for us. And, you know, they seem to be really excited.
It's great. And then we had a second round at 7:30 where we offered for any sophomores, any transfers, anybody that was fully remote to come in to get a chance to come into the building, get a little feel for it, and that was positive as well.
Yes, and you know, like I said, also talking with some of those parents and students, they were relieved that they were able to come in, you know, presented that opportunity. It helped them to, you know, relieve some anxiety. Mm-hmm. You know, we told them about our process. We're going to walk them through with the lockers, and the first week or so, you know, we allow them to be late to, you know, navigate throughout the building. You know, so things will go well, and they were really pleased with it. Great,
great. Thank you and the team, and shout out to maintenance for all their work. The place is looking beautiful. We still got a couple other things to button up, but we're excited about that. Now, if you missed out on that, then it's okay. So first of all, pictures, there will be backup picture dates. Sophomores and juniors will get ID pictures taken right in the first week of school. And then we're gonna have a soft opening kind of, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, but there's a chance still to connect. But if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll make sure you're comfortable. The next thing for freshmen that's coming up is your tablet distribution, which I just emailed out this morning, so check your emails for that, but that's going to be beginning next week. It's by alphabet on the 30th, 31st, and then on September 2nd. And then we'll be ready to be in school by September 7th. So I do want to point out a couple things that we talked about last week, and I'm going to point you to the website, I'm sorry, last night at the orientation. So if you're on the website, I want to highlight the safe return plan. So if you click on that banner anytime and you see that picture anytime during the school year, this is where we're going to make our updates and keep you posted on any pandemic changes or any information for the school year. So the big thing that went out last week was this stakeholder notification. So we went through some of those things to make sure that you understood all of the requirements to be back to school safely this school. So the big thing is in-person instruction. That's what we are charged with, and we are totally prepared for. We're excited to have what is as normal as possible experience, and last night really was proof that that could be done and done well. One of the things is of course, we're going to talk about masks. We know that the governor, you know, gave us teeth in supporting the fact that we need to wear masks for the school year, so that'll happen. A big thing that I want to communicate to you is that students need to provide their own masks, right? So that's part of almost your uniform or your school supplies. You need to bring a mask to school, and I would recommend that you are washing that mask regularly and maintaining that clean mask. So that has to be done upon entry. It needs to be worn properly, and then teachers are being instructed to treat that as a dress code violation. If it's not, you will go be sent to the vice principal's office if there's a violation of that. We just want to keep everybody safe. For me, Mr. Redman, it's all about not only my safety, but I want to make sure that you're comfortable and that you have a safe opportunity to be in the school as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, also with the mask, you know, we put out some things last year, you know, where you can't wear certain masks. So we'll still have the supervisors and administrators at each door checking masks to make sure everything is appropriate for school entry. So, you know, that will be huge.
Yeah, so great. Again, no gaiters. We're not doing the neck gaiters. They shouldn't have the vents on them. Again, the CDC says that's not a healthy thing. And then they're not for style. You know, so if there's certain things that might be inappropriate, we'll deal with those case-by-case scenario.
Yes.
All right, student entries. So sophomores and freshmen have never been here for a regular entry. We normally have 3 entries, and we will have that again this year. The 100 wing, the 300 wing, and then the band hall. Those are your main entries. Entry is at 7:22 is when the entry bell rings. So if you're coming for breakfast, students that are getting breakfast only could come into the cafeteria. That begins at 7 a.m. Otherwise, you're coming and you should be dropped off or making your walk to school for a 7:22 entrance, and then the late bell will ring shortly thereafter that. You do have access to lockers this year, before school, after school, and then during lunch. We will limit the access during the school day though. As a result, and also as a comfort, we're going to allow backpacks again this school year. Mr. Redman brought up a great point that, you know, maybe I, as a parent or even a student, I'm not comfortable being in a space close with people, so we will offer the backpacks again this year.
Yes, and also they can carry a water bottle this year because of the pandemic, so we are allowing water bottles this year.
All right, very good. PE, as you go into PE, you need to, if you are S1 student, you have PE the first semester, you need to come to school prepared for PE because we are not having access to the locker rooms for PE. So the key component to that is your footwear, making sure you have proper footwear, because being dressed properly is part of your participation grade for PE.
Yes.
Extracurricular activities have begun, so if you are planning on participating in a fall activity and have not connected, you need to make sure you are connecting. We have a link to the homepage on the website. Make sure you're doing that. Breakfast and lunch. So again, during the 21-22 school year, this is government subsidized lunch, so it's provided free to all school-age students. A wonderful opportunity. My family took advantage of it. It was fantastic last year. It helped support our local workers, making sure that we were employing staff. So what's going to happen is first thing in the morning, first block teachers are going to take attendance. They're also going to take lunch count. So they're going to ask your student if they are interested in lunch that day. It seems to be a pretty common options around the district locally. 3 options: hot, cold, or other. So there will be a menu that is pre-posted and that the teacher will have access to, the students will have access to. So, you know, Monday is pizza day, whatever it is, that's the hot, and the student will say, yes, I want the hot option. That'll be submitted first thing in the morning. If you're late to school and you arrive at the main office, you'll tell Mr. Carter, our attendance officer at the front, and he will submit your lunch order at that space then. The other piece with lunches, in order to be pandemic safe, is we're offering 2 main lunch spaces, the cafeteria being the primary, and then our second lunch space will be the new gym. Students by grade will be assigned to one of those locations, and then when they choose to sit, we're going to ask them to stay in those locations. We are not going to be moving around. We'll be able to offer both the hot, cold, or other option at either location, so there's no really crossing between those locations. It should be a comfortable space, and students will be safe. We talked about masks already. Vaccinations, we know that now the governor has added that vaccinations of school employees is a must by October 18th. As far as students, at this point we have not asked them to provide that information. You are fully willing, you can inform the nurse if that's something you're interested in, and then it would come into play if there was a quarantine situation. So if your student was ill or became a quarantine, their vaccination status would be important, and then we would ask for that proof at that time. Speaking of quarantine, if you are unfortunately in that scenario where you are either ill or have to quarantine, we can offer a synchronous instruction option for you. What we're going to do is ask that you notify the administration, and you can do that through the pandemic response email. That's going to be pandemicresponse@sterling.k12.nj.us. That is on that letter and notification. But you're going to let us know that you're ill. We will follow up to confirm that it is a confirmed close contact scenario. Then as an admin, we will communicate with the teachers to say that this is a confirmed thing, the student needs to remain home, and that the teacher then has the permission to synchronously pull that student into the class via Teams, just like we did last year. The difference is if you're sick. If you're just home because you decide to stay sick, you don't feel well, then the sick day still counts. Then you're sick. And students that choose that route, they're not going to be permitted to connect synchronously in the classroom. And the difference is last year we saw a lot of scenarios where students just decided, I'm not going to school today, I don't feel well, or I just don't feel like it, and they could connect synchronously. Well, this year we don't have a remote option. Students need to be in school, so you need to come. So attendance will matter. And speaking of which, Mr. Redman, you wanted to remind them that latenesses also are back in play this year. Yes,
as I said earlier, with the first start of school, we allow students to get comfortable with their schedule, manipulating through the building. But after that, that first week, then we will start with our Lateness Policy, which is also located in the Student Parent Handbook. So, students need to be aware of the Lateness Policy.
All right, very good. So you got to be coming on time. It's important to be coming to school. If you have a pandemic-related reason to be absent, then you're going to notify us through that pandemic response email, and then we will help support you. Screening, so we are not doing screening at the door. We're not doing temperature checks at the door. We will have admins at the door to make sure students are arriving appropriately dressed and wearing their mask. But otherwise, parents should be doing their screenings at home. We provided that resource. At the end of the day, if they're not feeling well, then you need to make the choice to keep everyone safe and keep them home. And then if they have those multiple symptoms, then they should follow up with either your primary care physician or get tested. Again, the safety of all will help this building function and provide for everyone. So we're excited about the school year. We're continuing to provide disinfecting options. Our ventilation is fantastic. Again, we are safe and clean, and we're ready for the school year. So if you have any questions regarding any of those items, please do not hesitate to reach out to one of us via email, and we'll be happy to help you out throughout that. So we talked about the freshman tablets. So we're going to be next week. They'll be distributed. If you are a transfer student or new student, we will call you down on the 8th or the 9th during that first week of school to make sure you get your information. Mr. Redman, a couple other handbook items. We talked about backpacks and water bottles.
Yes, the dress code. So, students need to start to prepare. And I know most students are shopping and doing different things, but they need to make sure they read the Student Parent Handbook to make sure that they are buying things that are appropriate for Sterling High School. So all those items are there. I don't want to, go through them at this time, but if you look at the Student Parent Handbook, you can see what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and we'll give more information to the students when we have the first day of school. But this is just a heads up. Start looking at your summer gear, start putting that away, start, preparing your school attire that's appropriate and ready for your education.
Yeah, we're back, so we're excited about that. But with that, you got to mentally prepare. Yes. We went from, March 2 years ago where we were at home and students were in bed taking classes, and and then last year they were pretty chill coming in.
Yeah, we were relaxed.
We were thankful they were relaxed. So we have to be back in a normal school mode, healthy and safe.
Yes, and we appreciate, from last year, students, parents, we worked through that scenario, so now we're at this point, where we're ready to, move forward. So can't come in pajama pants and all those things. It's not that relaxed. It's back to business as usual here at Sterling High School.
Great. Speaking of which, we will have multiple directional hallways to start the school year.
Yes.
And then another reminder is just that, you're not at home where you have your TV on and your cell phone out and this and that. We're going to be dialed in, so your cell phone should be away when we get into classes.
Yeah, all school rules apply in September.
We're back.
We're back.
All right.
And, with that, that's a positive, negative to some, but a positive to others, because we need that type of learning environment where there's no distractions, and students can learn and, be the best that they can be.
Sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Very good. All right, so the opening week of school schedule we're really excited about. So there's a couple of themes for the school year. Number one is we're going to continue our commitment to equity, where we're having safe and healthy, courageous conversations. We're training our staff on what it means for equity within a school building, within a culture and community, and then we're creating spaces where students can have those conversations as well. We have an equity committee, and then we have a student equity club as well, and we're very excited about those options. So we're going to continue that. The other thing is we really want to celebrate the high school experience. We talked about being back, but we want to bring back some of the things that we just were not able to do. Pep rallies, school spirit weeks, to be able to really enjoy some of the things that make high school so great, beyond the books, beyond the grind, but what else do you get out of this? So that's really going to be something that we're going to look to really overemphasize, and particularly in the opening week of school. So we have special schedules. So for students, the opening week, it's going to be the same early dismissal schedule, 7:22 entrance, and then they're done at 11:59. They're all half days in the beginning. That's Tuesday the 7th through Friday the 10th. But we have activities planned throughout each of those weeks, or each of those days that week, which we're really excited about, and they really won't even know about them until they get here, but that'll be a special. So we look forward to bringing them back. We're going to welcome your student back with joyful excitement, celebrating high school, but we'll do it safely so that everybody is good and in a good spot.
Absolutely.
All right, so with that, we want to wish you a happy ending towards your summer as you approach the last couple weekends. We are well underway. Maintenance and the technology crew has us ready to go. So we'll see you very soon. And with that, go Knights.
Definitely go Knights. Be safe. We look forward to seeing you.